So let's just motivate for Geshe-la. Just pray that he has had a peaceful transition, precious human rebirth, or rebirth in a pure realm. So, Geshe-la was so incredibly well trained, he would have known exactly what to do once he realized he was not going to get out of that situation. So his mind would have already been most likely knowing how to prepare himself for death. Excuse me. So at least we can probably take a little bit of comfort in that. So I'm really sorry to hear it. So just get yourselves settled, lengthen the spine, and just release any tension from the crown of the head all the way down to your feet. Just be aware of any sounds in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And then just notice, be aware of the thoughts that are arising in the mind. And maybe bring to mind some idea that you may have had about what your motivation might be carrying you through 2024. And then any thoughts that are arising, try not to judge or criticize. It's just your mind. And it can change very, very quickly. So then think of all the people of our life, the ones we really love very dearly, the ones we don't like so much, and our strangers. And remember, they can change place at any time. And they're all equal in their wish to be happy. They all wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, for Geshe, Dado, for Hin, and for any of you who have any sort of specific things going on, any illnesses within your family, friend group. And then just think, for this practice, just rejoice that you have an opportunity to do it. And how amazing it is that we're coming up for 3 years now. I almost can't believe it. So I think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we're creating negativity with our minds, so equally we can create positivity instead. And so we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically it makes sense to remove those karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken any vows, because I don't want suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come, the power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor rather than a higher power who we want to forgive us. We're not looking for that. We're doing the work ourselves. So you imagine Vajrasattva upon the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made a radiant, a blissful white light sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. Has a beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right holds a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So here we come to this little section on developing compassion. So we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we've harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and we have compassion for them because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings. And then we start with purifying the body. So here we are into this section called remedy, the power of the remedy. So Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So it's just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all our inappropriate speech, all this kind of times we don't know exactly the right thing to say, when to say it, the best thing to say that will benefit a person. all of this kind of, indecision in our speaking as well, completely purified as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Dida meboa, sutokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a humpe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, dida meboa, sutokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Humpe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. That includes you, yourself, and remember, everything we write is also part of our speech. Everything we basically put out there on Facebook, even I guess we could even say, even if we put certain kinds of photographs up, all kinds of photographs, everything we post represents us. And next is a purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into, you walk into a room, it's dark, you turn on the light, and it instantly dispels the darkness. So the same thing happens here. The light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and bitterness and grudges and depression, anxiety, jealousies, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida meboa, sutokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shiyam karuhum, ha 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 ho, bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa, mahasamaya sata a humpe, ambajrasafa samaya manupalaya, vajrasafa dina patita, dida meboa, sutokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And imagine they're finished, and there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and compassion and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss, kindness. So next is the purification of those imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar and fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And so next is the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. It's a really crucial one. And it's a determination to not harm, to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And so once we make a decision, because that's what it's going to take, to refrain from harming, then it kind of sets the wheels in motion. And so this aspiration becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So just think of something you've been working on. Rejoice in your efforts, rejoice in your progress, rejoice in everybody else's progress, everybody here, all your Vajrasattva buddies. Amazing. And you know, even if you only set aside 60 seconds in a day to do this last section, I think it's enough. It's just set your watch, set your clock, set your timer, put it in your calendar. Okay, I'm going to do this for a minute. Meditate and think about this for a minute. That's perfect. That's really good. And then it becomes like a habit. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would always recommend to meditate on emptiness. It kind of helps to seal the practice. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So whatever level you understand emptiness, you can just place your mind there for a moment. You think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So just think of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Right now there's just thousands and thousands of practitioners in Bodh all creating a huge amount of merit, lots of prayers. So rejoice in all of them being there, or just anyway, for a long life of His Holiness, for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation, and then for the long lives of all of your individual teachers. And lots of love and good night. So I'm wondering, tomorrow morning, what would you like to do? Speak now, or I will decide.
Something for Hen and Geshe-la.
Yeah, I was thinking that. What about you, Coral? You always have this grin on your face. It looks like you're about to say something.
I love doing Tara practices.
I know.
But I do them every day by myself anyway. So maybe we can do medicine Buddha for him and for this monk.
Is everybody else? Is
Yes,
everyone else
medicine
okay
Buddha. Medicine
Huh?
Buddha.
I have a
Medicine Buddha.
Okay.
good friend of mine's mother passed away today as well.
Oh,
So
well, we better do medicine Buddha then, eh?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that tomorrow morning. And lots of love. Good night, and I will see you then. Thank you so much. Thanks
Thank
for
you so
hosting,
much, Benra.
you guys. All right.